Have you checked out ChevetteReport.com? It's the newest cigar media outlet to keep you in the know with all things cigar lifestyle related. From press releases to reviews, we have it all covered. Be some of our first members to join ChevetteReport.com and be a part of the next step in the cigar culture. ChevetteReport.com.
Yo! Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Welcome into the show, everybody. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey. Say hey, hey, hey. Welcome to Chief Talk, everybody. It is your boy, Chief, with Bob the Cigar Guy and myself. And I shouldn't have said that because usually I don't. Hey! Welcome into Chief Talk. It's Thursday night. Having a good time so far. You can hear now. Okay, well, darn. I had music queued up for you guys. I'll play it now. Here we go. Sorry, we've got some new stuff. We're going to talk about it tonight. But I couldn't do it without figuring it out on stream. That's what tonight's stream is a little bit about. Welcome into Chief Talk Thursday night. It is the destination for Thursday night cigar smokers and fun havers and drinkers and everybody who loves to be a part of the Bob the Cigar Guy family. Big shout out, quick shout out to a lot of people who were here in the comments before the show even started. Turn this down a little bit. Oh, that was a lot of it. Supremo Tobacco, welcome in. Charles Adamson, welcome in. Banker John, Michael Zakovic, Gary the Man, Zanstra, Fireborn, getting in here early before the show started on. Welcome into the show. There was a whole lot of people. Bob Ellis was in here. Bob the Cigar Guy was even in here. My goodness. Bob the Cigar Guy is chilling out with all the peeps who were here pre-show. Alex Noander, welcome in. Cigar Pop, welcome into the show. Matt Brugger, welcome in. I think I've caught everybody so far. Are you guys, can't hear the music? But no music. Oh, okay. I have to figure that out. I have to figure that part out because I can hear the music playing in my ears. I don't have the normal music playing. So, welcome to the show. What are you smoking? What are you drinking? Before we go any farther in tonight's Chief Talk, do you want to say a big thank you to True Estate Cigars and Natura Cigars for sponsoring Chief Talk, making sure that we can bring you guys and gals Chief Talk every single week. Now, without further ado, I'm going to bring in my normal guest that we have every single week. I'm going to switch over to this thing. I'm going to pop the comment off and then bring up Bob the Cigar Guy.
Hello,
welcome into the show.
In Radio Land.
Hopefully everybody can hear us. We've had the music playing in our ears, so I'll have to figure out.
Goodness, it did not go out because I'm sitting here going copyright strike.
Copyright strike. There we go. Let's get the backgrounds going. Chief should have been here. My mom was telling all the nurses embarrassing stories about my brother and I. Oh man, that would have been fantastic to have been a part of.
Would have been a Chief Talk.
It would have been a Chief Talk. Max says, "Hey, everyone, sorry I'm late visiting my mom who had her hip replaced. Oof. Hopefully the recovery is going well." Also, speaking of recovery and well wishes, we have to give well wishes to our boy, the tobacco cupcake. Law Ream had to. I think he's okay. He ended up not having to have a procedure, but he thought he was gonna have to go in for a little hernia situation. He ended up doing something where he pulled a muscle. Pulled the muscle really well, apparently.
I thought he was going to need an awesome ectomy. He just had too much awesome.
Too much awesome.
Criteria, so
too much awesome.
Leave some.
I'll have to figure out how to get the.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I mean, I know how to get like the. Maybe it's just I have to have the music actually playing through StreamYard because I have that ability to do the J Bates sexy music. I do want to know, what are you smoking? What are you drinking? About the cigar guy, what are you smoking over there?
I am starting off with this Natura Frisian Mexican San Andreas done right. This thing right here is good to go. And I cut it with my baller cutter. Did a fantastic job taking that melon ball out of the top. And I lit it with my Paleo Pistola. 2-year-old cigar lighter. It's still burning.
You getting paid that I didn't know of?
No, but I got to tell you, speaking of getting paid tonight, we do have to say thank you to Natura Cigar and Drew Estate for sponsoring Chief Talk. But
absolutely.
The great things that we are going to talk about tonight is brought to you in part by our friends at Camacho.
That is right.
Because if Camacho would not have done this sponsorship for the I've Got the Smokes Let's Ride podcast with me, BTCG, then we wouldn't have all this great and amazing stuff that Chief is going to be displaying this.
I don't know about much of displaying because my camera is on a tripod and it's connected to my desk, so I'm not going to be uprooting it, but we will talk about it a lot. I just finished an M81 blackened pig.
That's the only Vitola you like of that cigar.
That's the only blackened I like. I don't like the blackened M81. I don't like the S84, but that M81 in the pig, man, that is a really good cigar. Yes, we did already, make sure that we announced our love to Drew Estate and Natura Cigar for making sure that Chief Talk is brought to you every single week. Again, check out Natura Cigar, Drew Estate Cigar, at locations where you can find them if you are of legal purchasing age. But tonight is a big shout out, and I wish I would have kind of thought to maybe see if Jack Heyer would be interested in coming on. And you can hear all of those noises.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is crazy. ASMR.
So, yes, this is Chief Talk After Dark.
Saka.
Oh gosh. I was thinking as we did the intros with the. Have you checked out ChevetteReport.com? How just different the audio sounds in comparison to what it sounds like now.
It's like things have finally dropped.
Okay. Last week was a little off the rails, kind of sort of crazy show. Let's not continue.
Duplicate.
Yeah, let's well, as Fabian and David left last week, we'll allow the when the door opened, all of the bad juju went out. I do want to say congratulations, everybody. We did get back on our 30 streak. That was 2 weeks in a row. I stopped counting. But we have not hit 20 yet tonight. I assume we've been dancing at the 17, 18 number for a little bit. But we did hit 38 last week, and I mentioned that at the end of the show, but we did, continue 22 weeks of 2025 of 20 or more concurrent viewers across YouTube and Facebook at the same time. Michael Zakovic says, I'm smoking something new. The Smoking Monk Imperial Stout. Interesting smoke. Supreme Tobacco says, you both sound great.
I was going to ask, how is the audio? Is the audio more rich? It's because in my ears, we got these headsets on, and it really sounds.
Yeah.
I told Chief earlier that I feel like the sounds of a Joe Rogan podcast.
If you do think that either Bob or I sound a little too quiet, please let us know. I can control my volume, and I can also control Bob the Cigar Guy's volume up and down over here.
I can't see the mix.
You can't really see it.
It's a big old thing with lots and lots of buttons
and switches.
I'm not looking forward to some of the buttons.
It's actually pretty cool too. I hope they can hear this. I really hope they can hear this. Chief Talk. Hopefully you can hear that. I really hope you can hear that. If you didn't hear it, then you'll be like, oh, I wonder what the noise was.
Well, if you didn't hear it, then wah, wah, wah.
I had forgotten those were a thing over there until you started talking about buttons again. Chai Town is smoking a Room 101 15th anniversary on its back patio.
All right. I just dropped the review on that today.
Alex Noander wants to know, what are you smoking tonight? I have just lit up, speaking of Drew Estate, I have just lit up the Herrera Esteli Brasilia Maduro. I just pulled it out of my little humidor over here on the side. It was the first cigar I touched, so I was like, I'll smoke that. So I'm back-to-backing Drew Estate cigars, but I did smoke a Blue Eye Jack's Revenge on the way over here. I'll tell you what, pretty darn good cigar. Cigar Pop, short on time tonight. I'm smoking a Tobacco Especial Cafecita Dulce and a half calf. Well, sorry to hear that you're short on time. So hopefully while you're here, you enjoy your time. Sandy Flo says, it's crime not to like M81. Well, smoke what you like. And I'm going to smoke what I'm like. Let's see. Charles Adamson smoking an FSG 20-acre farm.
All right.
I'm twice the man I used to be, so I count as 2. Doesn't the first lady like get 50 every show? No, she got 20. She never got above 30 her last show because I produced that one and I was waiting to see if it went over 30. It did not get over 30.
But she will be doing her show.
Alex
next
Winder says
Saturday.
ears bleeding. It's a little muddy. What do you mean muddy?
What do you mean muddy?
I don't know what that means.
Is it not clear?
Is it not
Is it
clear?
not
What is did I think I can drop in if we're too loud, you let me know. Is that too much? Is this better? Is this what you want to hear? Tonight's kind of a show. So tonight's show is
beta testing.
Is called Studio Upgrades everywhere. So if you haven't been able to tell, we are Banker John says that's the most annoying sound on Cigar Dojo. What?
Wah, wah, wah.
Which one? That one? Or that one?
I think of DJ Eli every time you do that.
Yeah. So I need to let me bring that one down because that's really loud.
And I got to tell you, we've been like kids. Chief more than me because he's been playing with it more than me. But we've been like kids in the candy shop with this stuff. I mean, playing the music and talking to each other. It sounds so different with these things in your ears, and you hear yourself talking and stuff. Not narcissistic at all, but it is kind of fun to think that we started this 9 years ago with nothing, and now we have professional quality stuff. When we actually
so this is the Roadcaster 2.
Actually,
the Roadcaster Pro 2, so it's their newest model. We can have 4 dedicated microphones and then 1 wireless microphone that are all out of this. I guess it's a MIDI board, is what it technically.
And we thought it was a
as.
mini board. When Chief brought the boxes over, they were huge.
No, this thing's like.
And then we went to open it up. We thought this thing was going to
16.
be the size of a sheet of
8.5 by 11.
And this thing is
It's
huge.
Like, it's like 15 by 12 or something.
Yeah,
and it's thick.
It's an.
I'd pick it up and show you guys, but I do not want to risk. I don't want to risk things coming undone. I just got to mark. Hey, there's 21 people, so we have continued the streak. But tonight is kind of sort of a test of how to get things into the range where we like them. So as I work my way through the comments, hopefully you guys will help me, and gals will help me dial in some of the sounds that we've got going.
Speaking of dial in, thank you so much for the comments on Discord that the lighting was not good on my videos, that I had gone too dark in my videos. I'm trying new things, and to get feedback really, really, really helps me. And so if you look at the Natura Cigar video I just did, I changed my lighting. I've been doing videos while Chief's been doing PCA content. I've just been stacking videos. And so I've got a video come out every day till like the 26th or 27th of this month, and they're already in the can. So I didn't have a chance to adjust that lighting.
So you've got some videos that are going to be still a little bad, but you're sprinkling in some new work.
And then Natura was the first one that had the new look.
Yeah. And it looked good. So. And it was nice to see because like you're talking about over on Discord, there were a couple comments that were like, "Hey, constructive criticism here," so not like criticism.
And I was so appreciative.
Maybe Bob should change some stuff up, and so you did. You also got a new thing for your phone where you can actually shoot with your rear facing
front facing, yeah, my regular.
And so instead of looking at like your FaceTime camera, you're actually using your legit lenses on your phone, which are nice.
People have said that it looks a whole lot better.
Yeah, and it does.
And you came over and helped me because you literally came over and I said, look,
it's my job.
Show me how to do this. Because Steve was like, well, let me tell you about aperture and let me tell you about noise and let me tell you about this. And let me tell you, it's like, son, look, okay, tell me all that stuff. But all right, now that you told me all that stuff, just put the light where the light belongs. And so I take a picture of myself sitting there on my setup and I turn around and he look at it and he goes, okay, wait a second.
I did. I started in it like a college level course, and then quickly we both realized, okay, let's dumb this down to middle school. So
crayons and the big pencils.
We got into like 4-digit multiplication. We didn't have to break out a calculator. We got close. Matt Berger says he's firing up a Blue-Eyed Jack's Revenge. Gary's interest, smoking a factory throwout number 99 and drinking a Busch Light. Mac Bergson says the sad trombone sound always kills.
And we've got the ability to do 816, 32 different sounds.
Yeah. I think it is 32. Same flow says, spending that budget. What did you get, Bob?
Nothing.
What? Oh, okay.
Nothing.
Okay. So the microphones, the board. Okay, let's be totally transparent here, right? The board, the microphones, the stands, the headphones, and a couple of little things were 50% off because of Father's Day.
It's true.
From the website that we got.
It's true.
So we got this not only for Chief Talk, but primarily for the podcast. I'm gonna have to learn this thing.
And for the videos, I'm gonna end up using this all the time.
Right. Because it's dope. It's very nice. But in order for Bob the Cigar Guy to learn this thing, it means I have to learn this thing. And then it would be silly not to use this also for Chief Talk. Get your money, get your money's worth. That's one of the things that Bob the Cigar Guy,
absolutely.
He breaks it down for, how many pennies per, Vitola.
I do.
You got
I absolutely do.
We're gonna ride this thing, into the ground as much as we can. It's also nice not having to worry about the wireless mics.
True.
It's going to take a little bit of time for me to get used to having the microphone in my face. If I come off to the side of it,
you disappear.
Can't hear me very well. So I have to stay right here.
And
I can come back a little bit, but I've kind of positioned it to where my natural sitting position.
And the thing that Chief got, it was on sale too. It was 3% off, and it was only twice as much as what we paid for this setup. So I get 50% of this, and then Chief gets 100% of the lens because I'm not allowed to touch the lenses.
I wasn't even going to bring it up.
So I literally only get 13% of everything we spend.
Now you're gonna have Jay Bates calling me about it.
So but you know what? The channel needs a metal lathe. So and Chief can't use that either.
Charles Adamson says volume is good. It's like there's too much low to mid range. I don't know how to fix that.
Well, I like to tell you. We can talk like Mike Tyson.
Let's go.
Hey, how are you doing? Hello, boys and girls.
Maybe it's just the microphones are getting more of our true sound out of it. Plus, when we're right up on top of the microphone,
we can sound
you're real deep right in your ears. Bob Ellis is smoking the Plasencia Alma de Cielo. You just had so I did turn the sound effects down, Brian. Tell me how they sound now. Is that seems like it's much quieter now.
It does to me.
It does, yeah, in our ears. And hopefully, I think through the production, we should be hearing what you're hearing.
The balances.
We should hear the sound of it. Now, I understand. So the music that I was hoping was going to port through the player is really just porting from my computer as if I'd have been playing it like
copyright
before.
Strike.
So I can play the music like we used to, like the J-Bait section. Like you should be hearing that because this is actually built into StreamYard. I actually have put that music into StreamYard. and then the sound effects through the like this is a sound effect on the board, little Sanford and Son remake kind of sort of thing. That should be porting through as well. Now, one of the fun things that I did learn that I haven't had to use, we'll probably have to wait until we'll have to bring Law back in so that we can use the button. It actually does while it's being done. So
we actually call that the Pedro Gomez.
I was going to say Pedro, but I feel like we have a better chance of bringing Law back on before we get Pedro again.
We call it the Will McFall too.
Yeah, let's see. I think I have. Okay, so there we go. Chief sounds more mature today. Sorry, it's the microphone. I put a sound effect on there to make me sound.
Is the air conditioner on?
The air conditioner? It is, but it's up a little bit. Is it hot?
These things are making my head sweat.
Oh yeah. Well,
God.
So I had to get used to it. He's talking about the headphones. When you take the headphones off, it's like, holy crap, this is really weird.
Yeah.
After wearing them for a while, it's like my head is kind of normalized to them. It is kind of weird going from having like talking and listening to yourself with the headphones on and listening to the person, because we're also talking quieter than normal.
Absolutely.
So like I took when before we started the show, he was talking to me and I had taken my headphones off. I couldn't hear what he was saying because he was just over there talking at a normal tone instead of our normal shout across the studio.
The room. Yeah.
Denburn says your lighting looks good tonight. Thanks. I brought
talking to me.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. Maybe I thought I was talking about me.
And my pretty blue and red lights.
Let's see. Supreme Tobacco says you looked great. Oh, so you guys are talking. Oh, so okay. So this is the lighting for your video. We're finally catching up there. Making poor decisions. Welcome into the show. How are you doing this evening? What are you smoking? Well, it sounds really great on the phone, but muffled, muddy on my home theater sound system. Interesting.
That is interesting.
That's nice. I can cough, not right in the microphone.
Absolutely.
Bob Ellis says, Chief using his dad for a discount. Jamie Vaughn says, sounds good, fellas. Jamie Vaughn, my man. How's the beach treating you?
I spilled my drink all over.
Brian says, it sounds much better. Chi-Town says, kind of sounds like Sweaty Balls skit from SNL.
Speaking of Chi-Town Cigar Podcast,
you're going to be on soon,
Tuesday
right?
at 8:30 p.m. on June 10th. I will be with the fellers. We'll be talking all things awesome.
All right,
looking forward to it.
The sound effects are down. Okay, and that's another thing is like once we, I probably actually, tonight I'll probably take a picture of the board just to know where it likes it.
I'll go to Walmart and get the little tabs, or go to Staples and get the little tabs that you can put with little arrows of different colors, because we're going to use it for different things. And so you could be coated green, mine could be coated blue, I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be purple.
Fireborn says the air horn's a better level. Yeah, boy. Charles Adams says, my bad, the dialogue setting on my receiver got turned way down. I fixed it now. Sounds studio warm.
Ooh, rich and inviting.
That's the family filter button. Yes, it is. It's funny because I didn't have to like.
All right, so do that again, and I'm going to keep talking. Let's see if we can hear me talk while you're doing that.
Okay.
Or it mutes. It mutes it all.
It mutes it all.
Anybody.
So it's an actual button. It's not like a sound effect that I put on there, but it also like we have to like muffle ourselves.
This is legit stuff.
This is
high-tech stuff.
Look, we got this thing 50% off, and it was still really expensive.
It's 4 digits expensive.
Well, not before tax. That's after tax.
Well,
Matt Berger says, I hate earmuffs or headphones.
Burger.
They are hot.
Not burger.
Oh, did I say burger? My bad. Brugger.
Brother.
I do like the headphones. Now, like, there's nothing like these headphones. So the kit came with the board, these microphone arms that you really can't. Well, let me move my cigar. I'm having to, so you can kind of see my microphone arm. Oh, you can't hear me whenever the microphone moves from away from my face. That's actually what they are intended to be. Come back in here. Go back there. So we got the microphones themselves, as you can see. Hello. The microphone arm. Oh, look at there. Hey, it's me. So you can point it down later, Bob Cigar. So this is the board. There's my big old mitt on this board. Right. So when you hear all the sound effects, it's playing around with there. These are all of our levels. Only have to worry about these two here. This one is me. This is Bob the Cigar Guy. And this is the volume for the sound effects. And then I've got whoa, Bob. What's a family friendly show again? Family friendly show.
Oops.
But we got the microphones.
It's cold in here.
We got the microphones. We got the boom. We got the headphones. All the cords and cables that needed to come with it.
Where's my cigar? There it is.
And so this is a step up in the direction. The description for tonight's show is talking about, we wanted to, anytime that we have a chance to pour, our sponsor money into the channel to make it better for you is a win in our books.
Absolutely.
Charles, I hooked it up to my car speakers, and I see what you mean. Definitely sounds different on my phone.
Interesting.
Our production is not as classy, Bob the Cigar Guy. I think he's talking about the old Chi-Town. That's all right. Look, there's nothing wrong with that.
Took us 10 years to get here.
Making poor decisions says he's out of cigars and stuck in dead stop traffic. They put the emojis on here. I can actually see the emojis on the.
You're a cigar rep. You have no cigars in your vehicle? What the heck?
He must be repping really hard right now.
Man, talk about giving to the people. That's crazy.
Value added, baby. Now, one of the things I am going to have to learn is one, not to breathe into the mic a lot. I've heard myself breathe into the mic a few times, and I'm like, stop doing that.
Stop breathing.
And then but then also
breathing.
when I'm smoking my cigar, not to like go across the microphone. I can see. We were talking about it a little bit before the show started. Maybe some muscle memory kind of sort of stuff, and having to figure out where my body needs to be with the microphone, and not ashing all over, because it's a black microphone, and I'm sure it will show battle scars eventually.
So we need to get little flags kind of that sit on here that says PTCG or ShebetterReport.com or
On the microphone?
Yeah.
Oh,
so that you see it right there in the shot the whole time. Like the old news, the old news microphones.
No.
I think it's awesome. I think it'd be cool.
Demeron says the beep is loud. Well, it's supposed to be loud. It's supposed to cut out the bad words. Luckily, we're not going to have to use it too much. That family-friendly button is way too loud. Okay, sorry. Jamie Smith says, what up, fellas? What up, Jamie Smith? Hey, if you're over on Facebook, do share this to your Facebook cigar groups, because we do broadcast across Facebook and YouTube. Jamie Smith is over there on Facebook currently. So send this to your cigar groups. Let them know to come hang out, have fun in the party. Let them hear the fun, new, better sounding Chief Talk. Call it the Fabian button. Yeah, Fabian got a little carried away last week a couple times.
He'd catch himself afterwards. That was funny.
Gary Brooks says, you talking about that lens? No, I'm not talking about that lens
yet.
I wasn't going to talk about it tonight, because all it does is become ammo. And you know what? You're the one who said, let's go ahead and get it. Not me.
Oh,
So.
you're right. You're right. I made the decision.
Jeremy Smith says, DJ Chief in the house.
I did. I'll be the first one to say that all the financial decisions I get final say on. Yeah.
Gary Brooks says Chief be fitting to pull that Bob slider all the way down. That's another thing.
He's got to mute.
I can mute Bob the Cigar Guy. So like you can't hear him at all. You can hear me, which is actually nice, because you can't even really hear him through my microphone.
Steven sucks.
I just had unmuted you. So everybody who was already angry about loud noises.
Hey, there's Laureen.
Loud again. Chi-Town says, good thing Chief don't have the kill talk. Ooh, that would have been. Giving DJ Eli a run for his money. No way.
No way.
Question for Bob from Gary Brooks. Why isn't there a BMW option for humidor and armrest or glove box? Might have to fabricate one. Oh, now that you have your new position, Bob the Cigar Guy.
That's true.
Gary Brooks could order one of the expensive Alpina versions.
And
put Alpina. Put a specific request in, and maybe you could slide in some goodies.
Well, you could buy a Rolls Royce. It actually comes with a humidor already in it.
Making poor decision says he has Just the Alturas in the 5th anniversary, but I try not to smoke them. That's smart. So he's got cigars. He just doesn't have cigars that he can smoke. Laureen says, that's some high quality audio. That's actually kind of fun.
Once we get the new off this thing, we won't be hitting these buttons as much.
No. Next week's going to be a completely different show.
Right.
Lauren says it's all beef talk.
Beef talk.
Have you gone to your
It's
local
what's
butcher
for dinner?
today? John Solis, welcome into the show. Glad to have you. Fireborn says you can't mute Bob. His message is too strong.
Too strong.
Gary Brooks says I want that Rolls Royce umbrella. Hook
Right.
me up.
Right. I do too. You know about the Rolls Royce umbrella?
It's in the door.
It's in the door. There's a little gold cap at the end of it. Nice.
Rolls Royce is owned by BMW. You know,
Yes.
you could get him the hookup.
Well, let me
Let
me get in this
many-
job a little bit before I start asking for things.
as many
can we?
cigars as Gary Brooks has sent you over the years. You at least owe him a theft of a Rolls Royce.
Yeah, that's what I should do.
Umbrella,
I should,
especially in your new
I'll be
position.
able to spend a lot more time at home. Stealing.
Yeah,
Rolls
you can
Royce
learn.
stuff.
You could actually learn this thing and teach me.
Well, you know what? I'd have to have the excuse of having 3 kids to watch all day long, so I can't get my content out on time and stuff like that.
No. Hold on now.
You missed a couple days.
Saturdays, and one of them was for a race.
You know what?
With my
Priorities,
kid.
Bubba.
I do have my priorities. Speaking of late, Jim Jurasek says, sorry, gents, I'm late. Welcome into the show. How are you doing? What are you smoking? What are you drinking? And if you haven't told me, or you have changed, in the 32 minutes that we've been live this evening, if you've changed your cigar or drink, I do want to know. Speaking of drinks, so last week we had Fabian and David here in studio. And one of the things that Bob the Cigar Guy had remembered the last time that we had Fabian in studio is that we bought a bunch of the San Pellegrino Italian sparkling waters, a bunch of different flavors. But it wasn't for Fabian that we bought them for. It was for Jared McKaylee, who he has gone on from Imbifuma he is Imbifuma now. It was Favilli. And then it was Mombacho before that. So now it's Imbifuma. So you went ahead and bought a bunch of these, and so
I just knew we bought them last time. So
tonight I'm drinking the San Pellegrino Ciao. This is the blood orange. It's actually really good. I had one at the end of the show last week, and then I've been over here a couple times since the show last week, and I'm like, they're actually pretty darn good. I like them. They are full of sugar, but they're good. Good one, Bob. Good one. Glad you kept the airwaves going.
Yeah, I'll just
keep bumping. I gotta charge my microphone, my mouse.
I was gonna say you don't need to charge your microphone. It's plugged in.
I keep bumping into my microphone because I keep having to go up underneath it.
We have noticed that there's no damper on vibration.
Yeah,
so if you put something on the counter or you accidentally tap the mic thing,
it's enough.
It's very done. And we're not going to get into the ASMR where you smoke the cigar and you blow it in there and you rub this with your fingernails.
I'll meet you
and all that stuff.
Keep doing it.
We won't be doing that. But it was funny that I wasn't even thinking about it. I was mic'd up. Steven had his headset on, and I grabbed my drink and I went to take a swallow from my drink right in front of the thing. He goes, "Stop!
I've got that. Whatever that disorder is where you freak out when you hear like chewing noises and whatever.
It's called whinitis.
No, it's like a legitimate thing.
Whinitis.
And you started drinking. I was like,
I used to love it when I would hold you down when you were a kid and chew stuff in your ear.
All right, so back into the show, back into the comments.
There's Jay Bates.
Gary Brooks has an Alpina spoiler for his X3. Jeremy Smith's got a cherry Dr. Pepper and a Deadwood Dominicana. Gary Brooks is smoking a tyrannical buck Maduro and drinking Blanco.
Ooh, Blanco tequila with lemonade.
Blitzkrieg finishing the night with a light HVC hotcake. Ooh, that's a really good cigar. I like the HVC hotcake. And at the price point, it's actually really it's pretty affordable.
I don't think I've ever had it.
Oh, it's good. Jay Bates, welcome to the show. How are you doing this evening? Glad to have you here. Jay Bates has been smoking like a machine today. I don't know if he's like got the week off from work or something, but
he's grilling up on the grill,
he's grilling,
hamburgers.
He's grilling. and smoking cigars. He's sending them over to the Discord. Oh, speaking of Discord, that's right. We have a new Stick Pick of the Week winner. This week is week number 6. If you don't know what Stick Pick of the Week is, it is the part of the show where I pick, sometimes I am Bob the Cigar Guy, pick our favorite and muted. This is where we pick our favorite, or my favorite for tonight, picture that was posted within the last week on the Chief Talk Discord. I have actually included the Discord link. I'm actually just going to make myself the only thing that you can see on the screen because Bob is muted, because I can't trust Bob to not sound like a predator in my ear. That is the worst thing about these headphones. This week, let me pull this comment off of my screen. This week, we have, I believe this is the second time that he's won. So this week's Chiefs Stick Pick of the Week, we have Michael Zakovic with a Kentucky Fire Cured. I did not zoom in far enough to see if it was, I think it's a regular. I don't think there's red on the band. I don't think it's a sweet. If it was a sweet, it's extra points. But it was a nice little morning cigar time. He's got his morning tea. I assume that's what the little doodad is hanging out of the cup. And he's got that Drew Estate Kentucky Fire Cure cigar sitting up there. And just above the cigar, you have that nice little bit of sun poking through. It's not too bright yet. It's not, overexposing the photo or anything like that. It's a nice little thing. I really like this shot. There were some really good photos this week. Supremo Tobacco has continued to ask. He has not continued to ask. He has continued to hold firm on do not pick me to win, because there was a photo Brian put up a couple days ago that I was like, oh man, I would love to pick this for Stick Pick of the Week. But this week's Stick Pick of the Week is brought to you by Michael Zakovic. If you want to know how to win Stick Pick of the Week, post a picture of your cigar on Discord to be considered for next week's pick for the Stick Pick of the Week. And again, second link in the description is the untimed. It does not disappear after a few days. It's a unlimited invite into the Chief Talk Discord. So Michael Zakovic, congratulations for winning this week's Stick Pick of the Week. Bob the Cigar Guy, you are out of timeout now.
That tea bag is a little bit sus. I don't know if that's not just a string.
I wasn't going to go there,
and there's bourbon inside of there or whatever. But I got to tell you, I am now firing up my second cigar.
Oh, it was a sweet. Look at there. So
which
extra
is
points.
That Adventura, and I'm cutting it with the baller. I got to tell you, this is not cheap. This thing is not cheap. It's going to last a very long time. The finish is really solid, but this is a cool way to cut your cigar. It is. It's really a cool way. This is not something you need.
Are you getting paid?
No, I'm not getting paid, but you need to
get paid.
It's really stinking cool. It is. And I actually started cutting torpedoes with it. You have to cut the torpedo twice, but it's really a neat gadget. I keep reaching and grabbing for it. And I've got tons of cutters here, and that's just the one that I've been grabbing a lot because, it's just cool. I really enjoy it. It's a neat way to cut your cigar. It takes a little melon ball right out the top of that thing, and it saves the cap.
But we need to reach out to him and tell him that you've been talking about it on Chief Talk every single week. I did a
review on it. That review will drop. What day?
I'm just trying to get the channel some more money.
Yes.
Let's see. Jeremy Smith says, "Sammy Flo, what up, buddy? Is it barn smoker season yet? It's getting here." John Salas is smoking my own rolled cheroot with Eagle Rare. Oh, I don't know what cheroot is, but I know what Eagle Rare is.
Cheroot's a small cigar.
Oh, okay.
Or it's a Clint Eastwood kind of cigar.
Jeremy Smith says Jay's been screwing around at work. Jay says in response that was at U of M. It was like a little party day. They asked me to grill. I said only if I can smoke. Nah, smart man. Put an auto mute pressure sensor on his drink coaster. If I could figure that part out, look, I'm just figuring out that I can do sound effects. So Michael Zakovic said it was indeed a sweet.
It was funny. Sarah came out, the first lady came out to look at the stuff, and she brought all the grandkids with her, and they were all in there wanting to listen to the headphones and push all the buttons. And I'm sitting there looking at Steven Chief letting the children touch the buttons. I'm like, y'all, get your fingers off the dang thing. Get your fingers off the dang thing.
Was because he wasn't Bob the Cigar Guy nice. He was Big Daddy Mean.
I was Big Daddy Mean. I wasn't playing.
It was funny though, because it was like I shouldn't have showed them what the buttons could do, because all it did was say, ooh, press more buttons, press more buttons, press more buttons. Chi-Town is congratulating Michael, Sammy Flo as well. Gary Brooks says, we got to overlook the T. Charles Adamson said, great frame. Now, Gary Brooks did have a photo this week lighting one of his cigars that he was, was it one of the pork tenderloins that you got in from Tatawahe? But it had this really cool like fireball in it. So it was between those two. So I went with I liked the Sunrise. I was a big sucker for that. It's possible to drink morning whiskey in the coffee mug. Just saying. J-Bait says the tea bag is just the old trick to hide that liquor. The Irish tea.
Jay couldn't do that because he has to put an umbrella in any of his bourbon drinks.
Gary Brooks says it's cheap compared to the socket cutter. John Salas says, see, look, we need to
that cutter's nice.
Get Cigar Medics to
it's not inexpensive, but it feels like it's going to last a really long time. It really does.
Gary Brooks says that he did order the less expensive version of the socket cutter. That's like astronomically cheaper, right? It's just not. It's the same exact cutter. It's just
it's not. It's a little different. There's some variance. So I got to talk to the engineer at PCA. And he says the mechanics are the same. The blade's the same, but it's a little different.
There's the wandering rebel, Greg Pittman himself. Gary Brooks says Chief needs to wire a Nintendo Power Glove to the panel. Cigar Pop says I liked the Fern cigar pick. That was good. Was that also Michael Zakovic, or was that Gary Brooks who posted that one, or was that you? No, it wasn't you. I don't remember who did. Somebody did. It was actually a really nice photo, but I thought it was almost like either one, he's always smoking at that time, and so he knows how to catch the sunset or sunrise when he's smoking a cigar, or he was like, ooh, for my stick pick of the week, I'm gonna. And again, for those who missed it, look at that sunshine. It's just Mr. Sun.
He might have sat there and took like 30 pictures and said, "Oh, the sun's too high. Oh, a little too low. Oh,
just gotta
probably dialed it right."
I don't know. Is it tea? Because the saying goes, you can't be a day drinker if you don't start early. Right?
Correct. You can't drink all day if you don't start in the morning.
I mean, I like how I said it. It worked.
It's all right.
Thanks.
It's all right.
Gary Brooks did the palm. Okay. I knew it was. I thought it was either you or Michael. It was a good show. Good shot. It was just the right timing, I swear. Yes, it's Screen T. I'm having. You got tummy problems. I love it. I love that I have the ability to do that. You can't drink all day if you don't drink all day. You just start with rum. It's cool because it makes you a pirate.
That's true.
Now, one of the things that kind of works out for us here in the Southeast is, sweet tea it's acceptable to drink sweet tea at any time of the day. Morning, lunch, midday, afternoon, nighttime, whatever. And tea, if brewed,
daytime,
nighttime, if brewed properly, sweet tea looks a lot like bourbon or any really brown liquor. So you just get you. My grandma used to. I don't know. You guys remember the old Tervis tumblers, the double wall plastic cup where you had like the patches that were inside, in between the pieces. They were all the rage for a long time. The clear cups that had all the like patches and stickers and stuff on the inside. My grandmother, my dad's mom, Bob Cigar's mom, was a fiend for those. She collected them anywhere and everywhere she went. She found them. She got them, and they were like. For a long time, they were almost like a status symbol because they're expensive, like $45 a pop, and that was like in 2006. And she had them. She had the name brand ones, matching lids, all that kind of good stuff.
It's true.
But she would always have tea running in those. My grandfather would also have tea running in those. And it was like, man, you really like, was there ever a time like as me like running around as a little kid at my grandma and grandpa's house? Was it tea? Or was there a reason? Was there a reason? Was there not for me, not that they gave me, because I would have known, obviously, but them. What I'm saying is like, oh, you got the small Tervis cup this time for your tea. Yeah, I didn't want a lot of tea this time, little Steven. Yeah, kind of find out it was, Eagle Rare, double oaked Woodford or something like that. Let's see. Come back up here. Yes, Lord Garth is Gary Brooks. Michael Zakovic says, BTCG, you're going to need to take away the toy from Chief. No, it's mine.
He's got to learn how to use it first, and then he can teach me.
I've already kind of forgotten what the, there was this one. Oh, there we go. That's what I should play when I like have to take a step away or something. That plays for a long time. Oh, stop.
It's funny. Chief would find something, goes, oh, wait. It's got a little circle up top, and it slowly goes away, and that lets you know when it's almost done. And it's just like experiencing all brand new things.
Well, it's nice because it's got a big old touch screen on it. I mean, it's the size of a phone screen.
And it's a touch screen.
It is a touch screen.
It is legit.
It's not like just a big screen that you have to move, functions with. Like you actually control it, like touch screen, which is nice.
It's like a touch screen.
Cigar Pop says, "Quitting time for me, guys. Have a great show." Cigar Pop, thanks for hanging out with us. Greg Pipton says, "Setup is mint."
Now let me ask y'all a question. An honest to goodness question.
Honest to goodness.
Would you rather have me and Chief without all this extra audio and all this stuff and just be raw in a shed? And does this professional quality stuff take away from who we are? Or do you think that this is an upgrade for us that we should stick with? And that's an honest question. It is, because when I do my videos, Chief's videos are very polished. They are very professional. They have a lot of details, a lot of editing, a lot of this and that. Mine is a lot more a guy sitting in his shed talking to his phone. And it's intentional. Number one, I don't like tech. But number two, it's just to be the guy next door kind of thing. And I'm wondering, would you rather have us go back to the old school way? Or is this a good thing? Honest question. You should have done the little chimes thing. I think that would have been better. Not the crickets.
It's kind of like nobody wants to answer about the cigar guy. Mac Bergson says sound is super important. Gary Zansher says it adds to the show. Bob Ellis says the content is all I care about. I don't care either way. Fireborn says you guys sound great. Enjoy your success, Bob. Mac Bergson says I'll watch a video with bad video. I won't watch a video with bad audio.
Okay.
Sean Crawley, welcome into the show. Glad to have you here. What are you smoking? What are you drinking? Says it's all good fun. Marco Zakovic says this is a good upgrade. The audio sounds great. You can't change who you are. Greg Pittman says raw dog it every now and again for posterity, but this setup is fire. Okay. Jeremy Smith says I like the new. Keep stepping up your game. Gary Zanstra says it shows you're growing. Gary Brooks doesn't take away, just don't overdo effects like when the video toaster came out. The video toaster?
Video toaster?
Everyone did crazy transitions. No, obviously tonight, this is the first night with the sound effects, so obviously they're going to get a little bit of play this evening. But I don't know. That'll definitely grow old, and they won't get nearly as used as possible. Honestly, the biggest thing about this that I wanted us to be able to have is I wanted to be able to start having better audio. Not that the wireless mics didn't do a good job, because I think they do a good job with capturing audio. I think they do a better job capturing audio when you can edit the audio. So like our videos at PCA or Out and About or at Barn Smokers or cigar events or whatever.
Even in the reviews, I edit the audio.
Right. Well, it's nice because I usually boost the bass, drop the highs, isolate the voice. With these microphones, it's kind of just doing it for us.
Yeah. other
And
than
that's
touching anything.
These are expensive microphones. Like I said, we bought this as a kit. It was the board, it was the microphones, it was the booms, it was the wires, it was the headphones, all that stuff, and it was 50% off. And so we were like, it's a worthwhile investment. And this is something, again, while we're using it here on Chief Talk, and we're going to be using it across the channel, this was more bought for the podcast that Camacho sponsors. The I Got the Smokes Let's Ride podcast, sponsored by Camacho Cigars by Bob Cigar, drops every Friday at 12 p.m. 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So it's nice to be able to have the audio. Also, another thing that was kind of cool, or that is kind of cool, and we can't test this out right now because we don't have another guest who's not here in the studio. It usually, like when we had Tim Swanson on a couple weeks ago, there were a couple times where his signal dropped off and his audio dropped, and the audio has always played through my computer. So like when you hear people on the stream, you're hearing them through the software as a production. Through our end, it's played on the computer out of the speakers. And so this redirects the audio out of the computer instead of through the computer speakers. It ports it into the board. And then because we have the headphones on in the board, it ports all the audio. So that's why I thought if I played music on my computer to the board, it would play for you guys. It just didn't do it. But obviously the music does play, like, actually built into the software that we stream from. And so now when if we ever run into another issue where we have a streamer or a guest on who we can't hear very well, now we'll have them in our ears and we can control our own audio over here of what we hear that doesn't affect what you guys hear. So we can adjust how loud I come across or how loud Bob the Cigar comes across.
Right.
But I can also adjust how loud I sound to myself, or how loud Bob is, or who a guest is. And you guys couldn't hear that I just jacked that audio all the way up. You couldn't tell, Bob, that the audio went sky, because I'm very loud in my ears right now because I jacked it up really high. So no, I'm looking forward to it. And, we want to get a point where the podcast has its guests on, and you can bring them on, and you can run the board and control the board and all that stuff. And then eventually to a point where you are, using this audio format for your videos,
right,
that you post throughout the week. Let's see. I like it. Just go easy on the sound effects. J-Bait says, agree, Mac. Sound is number one. Making Porterson says, you're thinking too much about it. Does the board have a goose sound? No, not yet. That's but funny. I can add sounds on there. J-Bait says, the sound is top tier. Sounds very crisp and clean. The talks like tonight is good with new text stuff, but the reviews are great with the buddy next door.
Fair enough.
Charles Adamson says, I like the quality. Headphones detract from the hat collection a bit, though. Yeah, I mean, we could get to a point where we did earbuds.
Or we get to a point where we get a different set of this is brand new.
Right.
So maybe next year we'll say, okay, there's got to be better.
I like the headphones to put it out there completely. Like, I'm a big fan of the headphones. I never really.
It doesn't pinch your head. We got big heads.
Right. I've always kind of shied away from the idea of like doing the whole podcaster headphones that have a microphone on them, and they're the Turtle Beaches that you use for gaming, but you can also use them for streaming. Like, I've never been a big fan of that. But I'll tell you, doing this for the first time tonight, it's nice. It's nice being able to hear you like in the headphones. We're not, not that it was ever hard to hear you in studio.
It's different.
It's always been easy because it's not like the studio is that big. But for the future. But then, if we ever get to a point where we, build a bigger studio, there's noise outside. Like, these things do a really good job at canceling out a lot of sound. Now I can hear, like, I've got the rabbit air jacked all the way up. I don't need it jacked. I just had it jacked up earlier because my kids were in here for a little bit of a time, and I can hear it behind me, but that's all I can hear. Like, I heard Bob's chair creak a little bit through his microphone, but I couldn't hear that in studio.
And
Chris Reeves, welcome to the show. How you doing this evening?
To be honest, I feel more legit when we started having it on. We started talking. Right. It felt more professional. It really did. I was surprised as to how it affected me, and I was like, "Wow, this is pretty cool." I actually, to be transparent, I actually took a moment to just be thankful.
It's kind of crazy how far we've come,
came from to where we are, and I'm like, God, this is serious. This really, and then I started looking around. I'm like, you know what? Thanks to your help, y'all out there, we have a standalone studio. Right. We have computers, we have audio, Chief has great cameras, and we're getting better lighting, and I mean, it's just, we took our time. We did it the right way. We said, look, we're not going to go in debt. The channel has to eat, and it has to feed itself. And so when the channel can do it, we'll do it, and we'll be happy with what we got till we can be at the next step. And so this was a big jump for us, and I'm really excited to see what the next jump is, which won't be anytime soon. But I'm looking forward to it.
But my thing is like, what is the next step? Obviously, it would
plastic
be nice.
Surgery.
Like, if we decided to pay for the upgrade on the service, we could run
get lip enhancements.
I could run 2 cameras off of my computer, and then we could run the other camera to you. We could upgrade your camera quality just a little bit. Actually, tonight it looks really good. Last week it was struggling. I don't know why it struggled so much. I don't know if it was because there was just so much in frame to pay attention to, but it definitely did struggle with you and Fabian on that side last week. Gabriel says, yes, I was in the biz when computers became affordable for amateur and digital video.
And now I did give you a bunch of sand about, Chiefs getting everything and all the good stuff and this and that, but I actually did buy one of these little things that it's kind of cool. I actually ran it by Chief. Chief's the tech guy, right? I'm the money guy. Chief's the tech guy. And I said, does this, look at this, look at these videos, tell me what you think. And so I got this, and all this does is this mirrors my screen.
Well, yeah.
And so I put it on the back of my phone.
It hooks up to the MagSafe on your phone.
So it hooks to the back of my phone like that. So now I'm using these cameras so I can see that I'm in frame, compared to using this camera.
Yeah, because you have the 15 Pro Max.
Right.
So your phone, that was the first phone I believe that Apple came out with that had the 3 lenses of the quality that it has. Also, it shoots in RAW, the file sizes, and so you can get a whole lot better image editability through RAW.
And your mom's got a new phone. First Lady's got a new phone, and her phone, actually, all the backdrop disappears. It's like Chiefs cameras, so it's you really are just focused in the front. And so, but I'm not going to spend $1,000 on a phone.
Right. Well, that's what I have. I have the iPhone 16 Pro. I don't have the mom. My mom is saying your voice is sounding a little muffled, not quite as crisp. I wonder if she's having some of the same problems that other people are having. She didn't still have me on like one of these FX channels over here. Just making sure. I don't know. There's a lot of dialing in to do. I'm gonna have to
dialing in.
I can hear what we sound like on the stream, like through our headphones. I hope that what we hear is what you guys hear. I'll have to go back and listen to it on my phone when the stream's over. I'll go back. But anyways, to say you normally shoot your videos with your front-facing camera, and so that is that lens is not that camera is not as high quality as your rear-facing camera, and so now you just bought that little screen mirror contraption doohickey that I was kind of worried was going to be like a scam on Facebook, but it ended up being a legit company after we researched it a little bit and looking into it. But it's nice because it gives you the ability to frame yourself up while being able to see yourself. Because that's one of the big things. It's you want to be able to make sure that what your camera is looking at is what you want to show. And if you don't have a way to see that, Now, yeah, we could have gone low tech. You could have bought a mirror, and you could have, bought 2 mirrors and done some bouncing around to kind of, see what it was. Or we could have taken some of the sponsorship money that we, just got in with Camacho with the podcast and invest in the channel. That's what we did. So the next step for you in that department is just getting into a full frame,
Camera.
full sensor camera, which we have. We just we gotta get you comfortable with it and into it.
True.
Gary Brooks says, "What cans are you wearing?" These I don't have access to the box. They're just they're not like a super special headphone or anything. They're kind of, they're nice, but they're kind of generic. Sam Flo wants to know, will the First Lady be allowed to use the board?
The board will be used for second Saturdays with the First Lady, but I don't know. I will be hopefully running all of those. Eventually, she'll probably learn how to use it, and she'll be able to do her show all by herself. But I don't know if Chief and I want to leave her alone in the studio, often alone with our stuff in here.
So eventually, we'll get to a point where all of the content hopefully is being ported through this thing, especially if we can dial it in and really try to figure this thing out. Tonight's the first night we've used it. The next time we use it will probably be next week.
Yeah, I got in the studio at 5:00 this afternoon.
Yeah,
so it's only 4 hours old in here.
Yeah, so
it's not even acclimatized.
For the first few times that we're going to use it, it's going to be probably most likely Chief Talk and then testing. When it comes to most things with the channel, it's okay. Chief learn it, Chief teach it. So I've got to learn this thing. I've got to figure things out. Tonight's a test stream. That's why I named it Studio Upgrades Everywhere, is because this is a massive upgrade, and this isn't just a Chief Talk thing. This is a this is the whole entire channel.
Absolutely.
Right. And so I've got to figure this thing out. Tonight's test number 1. So next week's gonna be test number 2, most likely, and so on and so forth until we figure it out. We get everything nice, crisp, clear, and as possible. Because again, we can't edit this audio. It's live, right? If this was a post-production kind of sort of thing, it's a little different. Again, the wireless microphones that we use through Rode, this is Rode as well. It's one of the greatest audio companies out there.
Absolutely.
All the PCA, sound and Barnsburger and travels and all this other stuff is usually through our wireless Rode. But
that's right.
We have to edit the audio file. You can't edit the audio file while you're live. At least I haven't figured that out yet.
I will tell you, I will be shooting videos this weekend, and so when I had my regular microphone, it wasn't a microphone. It was actually a microphone, but it wasn't hooked up. I had my little Rode mic lavalier attached to it where you couldn't see. Well, I have already attached that same lavalier to here. So if trying to use the board fails on me and I can't figure it out, I can still hook up that mic and just go that route if I have to. So
yeah, there is a record feature on here. I'm not sure exactly how that works. Again, I haven't tested that out. So there's a part where there's a chance where you could just cut this thing on, hit the record button, record everything, port the file over to computer, and then just match up the audio with your video, and then you just cut and paste. But I'd like to get to a point where, we are using this board as a microphone for my computer. So we get to a point where we're using this board as a microphone for the camera or your phone, then it's going to be able to write the sound to the file as it's being done, which is nice because then you'll have, again, the access to sound effects. Speaking of sound effects, I do want to make sure that we take this time to say big thank you to Drew Estate and Natura Cigar. And this week, for the time being, until they sponsor Chief Talk, Camacho Cigar, because the upgrades to the studio this evening would not be possible without either of those companies, but more specifically Camacho, because they just sponsored the podcast.
Live life
bold. Bob Ellis says you need to add in a neighbors asking about electric bills button.
That's a blast to the past.
Dan Burns says, whatever way you all do your shows, I'll still be watching because you were that good. I'll be there. Bob Ellis says, you guys will be wearing makeup next. No, even makeup on a pig. Can't hide it from being a pig. Gary Brooks says, when I upgrade my access points, I'll keep my old ones and help you move to enterprise Wi-Fi network. My 12 Pro Max was first with 3 lenses in RAW, 15 up to the sensor, and I believe the optics. Gearbook says, you sound fine. Thanks. Yeah, the rear-facing camera made a big difference. Horse sound effects incoming by the First Lady. That'd be funny.
I would love to have, because Chief is talking about you can go to these creators and they will make little things to run across the screen through this. And so it would be awesome to have like a horse that turns into fire or something, rears up, and it's got Natura Cigar.
Let's not get
for the Chief. It's for Chief Talk. It would be a cool sponsor.
But you start saying stuff like that. My mom is watching. She's gonna be like, "Ooh, let's buy that for the First Lady stuff."
But the horse running across the bottom and it jumps up or it's smoking a cigar. I don't know, something like that. That would be, that'd be kind of cool.
No, I talked about. I just learned a couple weeks ago that here on StreamYard, you can actually have like video essence on the screen. So how we have the background on the screen right now, where I've got the tobacco leaves, and then the Instagram handles and all that kind of stuff, the presented by Drew Estate and Natura Cigar. We can actually put things on there that are like GIFs almost, or GIFs, however you want to say. I say GIFs because I pronounce a G the right way. But that's some value that we want to add. Nothing too detracting, but definitely that because we also want to make sure that we are keeping our sponsors happy. We want to make sure. That's one of the reasons why the numbers are so important to us is because the more the numbers, the higher the numbers, the more that we can report back. Hey, great success this year. Great success.
So watch extra videos.
Please watch them twice on 7 devices.
No, don't do that. That's cheating.
No, do it.
Don't do that. That's cheating.
It's not cheating.
That's
just don't tell. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
It's cheating.
But yeah, that's some stuff that's going to be rolled out in the future. Summertime's here. Bob and I are going to have a weekend workshop here where he's going to learn some stuff that he's been needing to learn. I'm going to learn some stuff so I can teach him more stuff. But it's going to be a full day of workshopping, trying to really increase the content. We're going to try to actually get the podcast on like podcasting platforms and podcast file format so that you guys don't have to watch it on YouTube. You can actually listen to it on,
which is my fault.
Spotify,
I'm dragging my feet
Apple,
because I'm scared to death to have to do all that stuff. And I've been the first one to say it. Look, it would drive more people to the channel. It would get more content out there. It would get the message out even farther. But man, that tech just intimidates the crap out of me. I can't stand it.
Gary Brooks says, I bet you can add AI voice modification. Don't do that. So there are voice modifiers on here and they're loaded onto the board, but they don't work yet. I don't know. Like the only one that I can get to work is the beep, the cuss word beep. That's the only one I can get to work. I can't get the other ones to work yet. I'm going to have to, again, Bob, as he alluded to, this thing rolled into the shop at 5:00. So some of it was pretty plug and play, pretty easy. This thing's connected to the Wi-Fi, which is kind of cool. So it did have some firmware updates, but I decided to forego those, and I'll do those as I leave, so it can do it. I just wanted to set it up, see if we had it for the show tonight, because I was prepared to punt and just use the regular normal microphone setup as usual. Before we go any farther in the show, let me take my comment off. I do want to say a big thank you to Dennis Russell, Jay Bates, Jeremy Smith, Rick Carroll, and Jamie Vaughn for hitting the like or the love button over on Facebook. And the like button, Keith B. Miser Sr., Ron Maggio, Dan Burns, Charles Adamson, Christopher Powell, Sammy Flo, Michael Sackett. No, I was burping. Oh. If I burp, because you got to keep your mouth so close to the microphone to really be, it's like, you can kind of get away with burping with the lavalier, mics.
Right.
Well, these, you got to pull away to the side. Gary Brooks says, put some Monty Python graphics. Chris says, welcome. New here, but I'll be here. Welcome. Hey, glad to have you. What are you smoking? What are you drinking? I want to know. Jim Jurasek says, Bob, it's not that you're not beautiful, but I'd listen to you even if I couldn't watch.
Bob, I got a face for radio. I look best in the dark. That's a fact. So Thank you for your kindness and platitudes, but I know that this boy, he's a worker. He's not a looker.
Bob Ellis says we gotta instead of buying sound effects or buying
That'd be
things to run
funny.
on the screen, just do the Monty Python coconuts for the horse clop.
That's funny.
You can easily automate multiple live streaming and podcast uploads. Yeah, so once they're uploads, and I mean I can modify it, automate. I don't know. I'm not gonna. I don't know. I don't know if I understand your question the full way, so I'm not.
He's talking about me getting on Spotify or whatever. Blah 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 blah
Okay.
blah.
All right, Bob. If you can build a car, you can run a soundboard.
Bro, I can build.
You've been doing cars for
anything.
like 30 some odd years. So.
I can build about anything.
Well,
but
no,
that
not
computer,
30 some odd years. Close to.
Me and that computer, we just do not. That's just not my lane. I've been doing cars since '97. God, 20 years.
Chris says I'm smoking a Cinco de Cinco from my good brother Sammy F. I assume that it's Sammy Flo.
Barber
not,
and cigar.
Not drinking anything at the moment. That's all right. I'll tell you what. I like these San Pellegrinos, but they are making me burpy.
They are gassy.
I think I'm gonna have to switch over to my Dr. Pepper because Dr. Pepper doesn't do me as dirty as the San Pellegrino is this evening.
They've come back with that whole one swallow Sprite challenge. We ought to do that one night.
No, I'm all right with not doing that. Gary Brooks says if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. If you can learn a new process at the BMW Automotive Factory, you can learn a little MIDI board.
I'll tell you what, that new job I got, it is computer insane. They were sitting there talking about all sorts of stuff, and they finally, thank you, they finally looked at me and said, "So do you get this?" I said, "Look, y'all are teaching quantum physics, and I'm sitting over here in the corner eating paste and using crayons and big fat pencils."
That's what you said. This wasn't on the job interview. You can't fire me.
That was something.
You can't get rid of me. I'm already here. I was supposed to be here 4 weeks ago, and you took your time.
Yeah, I've got a little notebook, and I write down words, and I'm like, what does this word mean? I mean, they've got their own language. It is insane.
Yeah, but
the level of tech,
like tech and computers and cameras, things that I'm bigger into now. That's nothing I went to school for. It's watching YouTube videos. It's watching others, or just trying to figure things out on my own. Gary Brooks says that the crayons are that's the devil dog.
Your ability with tech is my ability with tools. If I see a tool, I can sit there and look at it, a machined tool, and I can look at it and I can figure out how to run that thing pretty good. And if I watch a couple people do it, I can master it extremely fast. I'm good at that. I'm good at being a craftsman, but when it comes to, I can't fix a computer. You have to have your semicolon where it belongs, and you have to do your your JavaScript or whatever that garbage is. And I got no clue.
Goodness, I'm not that advanced. I'm not jumping in any kind of HTMLs or anything like that. As I pull this up, Bob Cigar, have you smoked? And anybody who's in the chat, have you smoked anything good in the last week since Chief Talk? Have you smoked anything new that you're like, ooh, maybe I need to remember to suggest this to Bob and Chief to check out this year before they drop their list at the beginning of next year? Bob Cigar, have you smoked anything good?
I've smoked something good and new. To me, it is the Natura Second Harvest.
Ooh, tell us about it.
Dropped a review on that just yesterday, I think it was. Fantastic cigar.
What was so good about it?
Well, I told the story about the Itchituckney.
Ooh, what is the Itchituckney?
Tubing down the Itchituckney River.
And
it's this ice cold river in the middle of Florida where you would pick up inner tubes.
It's not ice cold.
Oh no, it's cold. It's cold. It's shrivel cold. It is. You can't pee for 30 minutes.
Family friendly show
I'm just telling you.
Oh, I'm not supposed to be sharing this yet. Whoops. Whoops. Okay.
Whoops.
Hold on.
But it's the flavors. That tobacco is grown at the highest elevation any tobacco is grown at in greenhouses, and it's aged much longer. It takes a lot longer to grow, and there's something about the way the flavors hit on that cigar that it just hits differently, like being on an inner tube slowly floating down a crystal clear river. It just had that smooth quality to it that was just enjoyable, and you didn't want to stop. I would have chain smoked them back to back if I would have had more of them. And I was talking to Lane Crenshaw, Making Poor Decisions, who's one of the reps. He's a national rep for them. And I said, people need to know how to get your cigars. And they said if they went to I can say they can go to their place on the intranet. It has a listing.
No, you can't say that at all. You can't say that. Stop saying that.
It has a list.
Stop saying that. Stop saying that. Stop.
Play.
All right. Use the mute button. All right. So I didn't mean to present it when I did. I thought I was going to give an option to, do you want to present this now? All right. I'll unmute you now, Bob. Steve Saka posted today. This is a little bit about the tariff situation when it comes to Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. This is on Steve Saka's personal Facebook.
You brought that up today.
Yes, 8 hours ago. So I will read it. You can read along or you can just listen. FYI, Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust implemented a tariff increase on June the 4th, which was yesterday. It was done on a SKU by SKU basis at the actual cost order of the 10% tariff on the import of handmade cigars from Nicaragua. So the 10% on the price per cigar at the border, not 10% based off of what you pay at the store. The tariff is based on the FOB prices reflected on the import invoices. Because Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust pays for much of its own tobacco, packaging, etc., the true cost of the tariff is not 10%. So Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, or to Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. So we did not raise our wholesale prices by this amount, kind of alluding to what I was saying earlier. Our increase is the actual added cost to DTT with no additional margin. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to kind of jump into the whole tariff thing originally, because I wanted to get in before it hit the stores, before PCA, any of the price changes, because it would not sit right with me if a company just said, oh, 10% tariff, let's just put a 10% markup on the current prices of everything and then just actually make more money than, what the tariff actually costs, right? So you say 10%, we go up 10%, but we're actually only, having to pay, 5%.
Sneaky profit.
6%, right? So making, an extra 5% that you wouldn't normally make, but you're hiding it under the idea of tariffs. So then he continues to say the overall increase across the portfolio is 3.82%, but some cigars it is more and others it is less. So that's the average, I assume, because he says the overall increase. So about 60 days from now, the 10% tariff 90-day probation window will end. And unless something changes between now and then, the tariff will increase to 19%. If this happens, we will implement another tariff increase accordingly. Hopefully, we don't have to get to that. If the tariff goes away, it will be quite a sticky wicket, as Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust and our purveyors will have inventory we both paid for at the tariffed amount. So I kind of saw that. Skip Martin was talking about that, where, okay, if a bunch of people buy a bunch of cigars to sell at their humidors and you buy a bunch of tobacco and stuff to do at the tariff price, and then the tariffs go down, if you then say, okay, now the cigars go back down to where they were, you are devaluing the stock.
You're cutting your profit.
Right. Well, you're not only cutting your profit, you're cutting the profit of the people who bought from you to sell your stuff. Right. Now, I'm sure there's a way you can slow roll that. I feel like that can't be, and I haven't read this whole entire thing, so maybe Steve jumps into it in a second. Maybe he'll answer my question in the future. Hey, future chief. But there's got to be a way where you could roll it back at some point.
Well, he talks about it later on.
Okay, so he says, so I am uncertain how we will roll it back. My current thinking is we may just let it ride and reduce the annual inflation costing increase in the 2026 pricing schedule. Okay, so that's nice. Okay, so the tariff goes down. You have to pay the tariff price for the rest of the year. But hey, bonus, next year, we're not going to pop you with the inflation increase because we're kind of at where it would be normally. We'll keep it there. Okay, so nice to hear that. I'm glad. Hey, I'd said, hey, future chief. Hey, past chief. Thank you for asking that question.
But now a $10 cigar, Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust $10 cigar is going to cost $10.38. A $15 Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust cigar is going to cost $15.57.
Okay.
So it's not like a $5 upcharge. It's not like even a dollar upcharge. It's a half a dollar upcharge on a $15.
No, it's not a huge. It's not a huge thing. But you got to think, a lot of companies
are going to go straight 10%.
Well, no, not just that, but a lot of companies have already implemented a 2025 price increase. So while you might not be getting hit with a $1 more cigar right now, you're going to be getting hit with a $1 more cigar over the year, because it went up only 35 cents in January, and it goes up 45 cents now. Next year, if the tariff doesn't go away, and you have raised a full dollar price on a cigar in a year, and that's cigars that are in the middle premium road, right? You're not looking at the Night Commanders, right? I mean, you're looking at, if you look at a 3% increase on that, it is $1 on that cigar. All right, so I'm uncertain how we will roll it back. Oh, sorry, I did that one. But if I had, or if and when the situation, which is what I am hoping for, arises, I will make the decision at that time. This is where everyone and their brother gets to post their opinion on the tariffs and argue about whether Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust should eat the cost. Number one, I am not going to engage in an online debate about tariffs. My opinion does not matter. This is Steve Saka saying that. What matters is we have been and will continue to pay it. Otherwise, we will not be allowed to import cigars. Number two, Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust is a business. We cannot afford to eat 3.82% in additional costs. I hate that the prices are going up, but it does not make us richer, nor is it good that our customers have to pay slightly more. Thankfully, we operate the business debt-free and have the cash needed to float the extra 4% ourselves. Most businesses do not have this luxury. We have been transparent and have minimized the increase to as small of an amount as possible. And then finally, number three, if this increase makes our products too costly for you to enjoy, I understand. Best regards, Steve something Saka.
Actually, I think it's Tiberius.
I don't think so. Actually, he does not look like a Tiberius.
Actually, I was wrong in what I said, and 38 cents for a $10 cigar, because they don't give you tariffs on the cost of the final price. And most people go Keystone, which means a $10 cigar costs $5. So that's now 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 cents per cigar for a $10 cigar. So you're going up $10.19 unless your retailer says, well, it's the tariffs, because business be business, and some businesses want to pass the savings on you, and some businesses say, look, I could use an extra 50 cents a cigar, and so I'm just going to blame the government, bad government, and I'll just go that route, and you won't be mad at me, and you won't be mad at the manufacturer. You'll just keep buying the cigars, and I'll make extra money. You won't know about it. And I believe some retailers will do that. I believe most that are good and that are profitable and that are honest and upright, they won't do that. They'll be transparent in what they do. But business is business, and at the end of the day, this is not a need.
I'll say, fortunately, we've had a pretty good ability to rub elbows with quite a few manufacturers and
retailers.
And so, and I say I'm going more manufacturers because they're the ones who are really controlling this, right? The price, that is, because it's affecting them, first. For the most part, I think for the complete part, I don't think I've ever run into somebody who owns a company who I would say is like a shiesty dealer, right? I feel like most of the people that I've run into that had any kind of conversations that had to do anything with tobacco pricing or the culture and people being in it, and keeping, you've got multiple classes that are within the cigar smoking culture. You've got people who thrive on the $3 chuck. You got people who thrive on the $15 cigar, and you got people who thrive on the 50 plus
The
dollar
Bentley
cigar,
Bugattis.
right? And they can all sit in the same humidor together. They can all hang out and have fun, smoke cigars at the same time, and be the best of friends, and just be completely different opposite ends of the spectrum when it comes to what your how fat your wallet is, how leaned over you are because your wallet is pushing up that black metal Amex card. But I would tend to believe that most people are going to do the right thing, because the cigar culture, while it seems big to us because we're deep in it and we have a lot of friends and we get a lot of chance to rub elbows with people and talk with people and shake hands, kiss babies, all kind of sort of thing. And ultimately it is a very small market when it comes to consumerism across the tariff globe. Cigars are affected just like everything else is, but obviously importation on tobacco products is nowhere near the same as importation of phones or toys or camping material or coffee, things like that, right? Those are things that are way more. So cigar manufacturers and lounges, to your credit, Bob, Bob Cigar Guy, know that they can't just try to rip off the people who are keeping them employed, right? Because especially somebody who owns a cigar lounge, they don't want to get a bad rap of, you guys charged us 10% when you really only should have charged us 3%.
True.
So it'll be interesting to see how this it continues to fold out. More information continues to roll out. Gary Brooks says that he has enough Dumbarton Tobacco and Trust to last halfway through the nutty tariffs. And then he says, after this summer, I should be good until the next administration. Whatever that is. Maybe the next administration doesn't even like cigars and they ban all tobacco. Did you see the report about imports were down for cigars 9% in the first 2 months of 2025? It's not the upcharge from cigars. It's all about the upcharges hitting every aspect of people purchasing, eating into their budget. Correct. Which ultimately gets put on the price of cigars. Everything that cigars get priced where they're at because of everything that goes into purchasing of cigars, right? Matt Brugger, I read this comment. I'm definitely go over it here. Not to derail the conversation. You're not. This is a big family. So anytime you've got anything like this, you please definitely put in the chat. But could you use some prayers for my father-in-law? We just learned that he has lung cancer. Matt Brugger, we will definitely keep you, your family, and your father-in-law in our prayers and thoughts. And I'm sure there are many here in the Chief Talk community who do the same. Illinois just increased their tobacco tax from 36 to 45%. Yikes. Dan Burton says, okay, y'all be good. I've got to go deal with HOA stuff. Oof. Brother, take a cigar. And maybe some of the PBR to get yourself through that. But I didn't see that post from Steve Saka right before the show. It popped up on my feed as I was going over there and looking at some stuff. And I was like, ooh, might need to read this. And I was like, you know what? Why don't we just read this on the show?
Why not?
Bob Cigar, did you say what your second cigar was that you lit up?
I did. I just ripped the band off of it. It's one of the Adventure lines. I don't know, but when I pulled the band off, it ripped the thing, but it's a blue on white. And I know it's not a
blue white
jack, but I can't read anything off of it. Maybe I can find stuff.
I thought you were a cigar reviewer.
Yeah, shut your face.
You're supposed to be good at this.
The Navigator.
The Navigator one. Oh, he just dumped everything all over his desk.
He did too.
Wait.
Oh, isn't that fun?
Eventually, I'm gonna forget about those.
I need a remote mute button.
You said you need a mute? Okay, mute you. There you go. I unmuted him, so he's actually faking. He's unmuted this whole entire time. Dan Burton says, I'd love to, but they're complaining about that too. Gotta love those Karens. What? Tell them to shove off, man. Look, I'm all about positivity and family friendliness, but they can't make my man stop smoking cigars.
It's neighborhood aromatherapy.
Yeah. That's
America, baby.
It's good for the environment. A little ash on the ground makes the grass grow. it's been pretty slow in the news. Like I haven't gotten many emails this week, which has been kind of surprising.
Well, we had such a big push from PCA.
Well, and that's the thing is, like, I'm not on a lot of email lists. Like, I'm on a good handful of them. Nowhere near as many as like Half Wheel or something like that. But the news has been slow coming out of. One of the things we did not talk about last week because we had Fabian in studio was there had been some rumors going around about Hoya de Nicaragua having like all their operations seized and everything was going to stop or whatnot. And then it came out that it was not full truth.
It was a tabloid.
And so Hoya was still up and running and producing cigars. I'm happy to hear that because I love Hoya de Nicaragua.
And all the other companies that Hoya de Nicaragua makes cigars for, like Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust.
Tobacco and Trust, Drew Estate.
Right. There is a press release from the North American PR. The CAO Amazon Basin Daggers. CEO returns to the jungle for the latest limited edition release, Amazon Basin Daggers. The same award-winning Braganca blend. It's a new, smaller format. So it's a littler stick. And I think I saw the picture, and I don't think it had the little wrap band, the little piece of tobacco that wrapped around it, like the
fuse.
Right.
Something that just kind of crossed my brain.
4x38.
That's a small one.
Yeah, it's 4x30. That's a.
They call it the dagger. So
yeah,
that's fitting. I wonder if there was if they're trying something new or if there was because that tobacco is pretty limited because it grows in the base of trees
in the Amazon
rainforest. So it's kind of a special harvest. Something that's kind of fun. I'll be up at Dollywood this weekend with the First Lady, my wife, my kids, and my in-laws. We're going to go up to Dollywood and have some fun. I am kind of excited. I have the new lens with me. I'm going to take it up there. Try to take some shots, put it through its paces. I've never shot this lens before. I've shot a lens kind of sort of like it. So I'm looking forward to that. Some new content coming out. With that, looking forward to that. Charles Adams said shrinkflation. That is a hard word to read and say. To cover the tariffs. It's from the cuttings of the Amazon. Oh, so it's kind of like what Drew Estate does with the Papa Fritas and the Nasty Fritas. That's smart.
That is smart.
And you have a lot of that, right? That's one of the reasons why cigar companies put out different vitolas of cigars, right? Is so that they can, utilize more of that tobacco that they normally like. If all you did was roll Toros, right? You'd have to have the tobaccos just for the Toros, and so there's a lot of waste as you cut that tobacco off. Well, shoot, I make all these Toros. I've got a bunch of cigars over here. I could make a little bit of, pequeña size cigars or a little cigarillo. So let's introduce another size. And hey, what if we introduced a Robusto? Then we could do something like a double Perfecto or something like that. Right. It's like, let's try to squeeze out some shrinkflation.
And another thing is some of the tobaccos, especially even if you do a stock cut, especially, but even in primings, your top primings, those leaves are much smaller.
Hold the press. This is my buddy Echo. He's in Germany. Good morning, Echo. Welcome to the show.
Should you say Guten Morgen?
Guten Morgen, meine Freunde. No, Echo's a good friend. He's in the Dead Leaf Breakfast Club. Snap the Rapper BLN over on Instagram. Great friend. And he said he was going to try to tune in with the new audio setup. So hopefully it sounds good.
I'm kind of impressed with you that you didn't go hello.
No.
How are you?
No, I'm trying to make sure we keep as many people on the show as possible this evening. We did make it up to 28 this evening. 28 this evening. We did not hit 30, but we did hit 28. We did have some other people hit the Brian Castro. Speaking of Deadly Breakfast Club members, hit the love button over on Facebook. And I think, that's it. Yeah, so there was one more added. Matt Berger says this weekend I will be heading back to my hometown to celebrate my parents' 50th anniversary.
Boom.
Whoa, that's crazy. I mean, they would have got married when you were what, 15 years old, Bob?
5. Nice try. But that was back before you were 6'3" where you are now.
Right.
So,
no, that's awesome. Congratulations, 50 years, man.
That's crazy.
That's a massive accomplishment.
That's awesome.
5 decades. That's I feel like I've done something with I just celebrated a decade with my wife.
You can't have 50 before you have 10, right? So,
No, right. But I mean, it's crazy to think, it's like one, and I say this very delicately, like, I 10 years feels like I've been married I feel like I've been married to my wife for a long time. It's only been 10 years. It's not and I said it delicately. But it's been an enjoyable 10 years. We actually sat down and did the math. Not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, my wife and I have been like officially a couple for 13 years now. That's kind of fun. Thinking of that, but officially married for 10 this year. So 40 more years and I'll catch up to him. That's crazy to think about. 40 more years. That's older. For me to catch up to how long your parents have been married, I have to be married to my wife for more years than I'm even alive. That's kind of crazy to think about.
It's a long time.
It's a long time. How long ago was it for you when you were 33, Bob? 21 years ago?
22.
Yeah. That's
22.
That's a lifetime within itself. Fireborn says, not every prison sentence is behind bars, says the divorced guy. Charles Adamson says 10 years is a long time when you're young. And I love it. And I do, obviously realize that 33 is not old by any stretch of the imagination.
Well, it's like days take forever, but years take a second.
Right.
It's the grind of just life.
Well, that's one thing you definitely feel when you have kids, right? It's like when you look at it by a day, like you sit and hang out with your kids for a day, it's like, oh man, I'm ready for this day to be over. These kids are, waxing my nerves here. But then you celebrate this year, I'll celebrate my oldest. He'll turn 9 this year. And I'll be like, holy crap, 9? 9. It's insane. Now, go here. I know German. But to think that I'll have a kid who's 8 going on 9 is kind of crazy. And it's like, where'd the time go? It's kind of crazy to think, like, I feel like I've been married to my wife for a long time, but I feel like Jackson hadn't been here very long.
Right.
I think a lot of that has to do with just you're watching them grow up and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure you feel that way too with your 33-year-old son over here.
Absolutely.
Jim says, I told my woman it felt like 30 and she left 9 years and 360 days. Jim says she was my old lady. Yeah, that was I don't know how we stemmed off into. Oh, we're just saying congratulations for 50 years for Matt, your parents.
Well, I say it to everybody that First Lady is extremely patient, and I'm extremely blessed. 34 years.
Welcome.
It's pretty awesome. Thank goodness Steven could swim.
He hates it when I say that. He hates it. Because maybe they would have got married, but they definitely got married because little Stevie was coming along. So I always say you're welcome. I'm sure they would have got married. I'm sure they would have stuck around with each other. It's not like my dad wasn't some, straight out of the Marines, knucklehead or something like that.
Yeah, I'd been out at least 6 months.
Ready to settle down. We're going to travel the world.
Find me a woman. Raise me some children.
All right. So right here at 10 o'clock, good time to end the show. Thank you all for hanging out with us. Bob Cigar, before we go, is there anything you'd like to say to the people?
I'd like to say thank you. We can't say it enough, and we are sincere in when we say that we couldn't do any of this without y'all, and y'all are an important part of our life. We consider you an extension of our family. We hope that our content gives you a moment of peace, or maybe a moment of reflection, or just an opportunity to get away from whatever you need to get away from. We really do appreciate the fact that you're part of our family, and we love you. We really, really do. know that you're awesome and phenomenal, and you are everything you need to be. And the world is better because you're here. So stay around as long as you can. That's for sure.
Yes. Yes. Before we do go, that is one thing I wanted to bring up this month. And I say this, I bring this up tonight because I think for the whole entire show tonight, it's been just men. June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And I don't have the numbers here with me currently, but men's mental health is something that is starting to gain a little bit more traction, and with people talking about it and bringing it to the forefront. But one of the things, call it toxic masculinity or whatever you want to call it. One of the things that a lot of men, especially culturally Southern men, because that's what I was raised and been raised around, pride themselves in bottling up emotion. Pride themselves in putting on a brave face, pride themselves in not appearing weak, and doing the manly thing, right? And while that's something that I do, Bob the Cigar Guy does, I am learning as well as I think Bob is as well over the past few years, and as things have come to light with mental health and the brain and things like that, is men struggle with things too, and you don't have to go through things alone.
Right. We did a video just last week.
Your problems may seem too big for somebody that you don't know in person and you only know them on the internet. But I tell you what, your problems are not big enough. I'm always, happy and willing to sit down and talk with you about things that you're going through or could be going through or just come out of. I am not a licensed practitioner. I am not somebody who has a whole lot of life experience, but I definitely know that I would, prefer, you stay here. So for the men and anybody else who happens to watch, mental health is important. But as June is Men's Mental Health Awareness, know that there are two men in Traveler's Rest who would love to see you stay, would love to help you through whatever we can do in your situation, grievance or depression, or even if you are on the other side of the spectrum, you're just super happy, or if you've been putting on a brave face and you just feel like you'd have to keep putting on a brave face and you don't want to vent because nobody's going to listen to you, hey, hit me up in the DMs. I've always got time.
Absolutely.
So with June, hopefully that's something I can remember to highlight this whole entire month, and obviously throughout every day. Another day is another day here with us, and I would I'd be beside myself if I knew that I didn't make myself available for somebody that I knew, even if it's just on the internet. I do want to make sure that you all know that you have somebody to talk to. If you feel like you don't have anybody to talk to, you got somebody to talk to in me. So, and
if you're struggling, we put out a video just a couple weeks ago. I think it's called Old Truck Tough or something.
Last week,
something like that.
Sunday.
It deals with that, and it's just being transparent and honest and talking about life and talking about it's okay not to be okay,
right?
But it's not okay to give up.
Right.
And it's not okay to stay that way. You're too valuable to stay that way. And getting help is not weakness. Getting help is the strongest thing you can do. If you need that help, please get that help. And if you have somebody you need to talk to and you don't know how to talk to them, feel free to send them to this channel or have them watch that video.
And if you're somebody who has struggled in the past and you've pushed through and you've made it, I'm proud of you.
Absolutely.
Done a fantastic job.
Absolutely.
And you're killing it. So without further ado, we are going to end the show here. We will see you next week. I am reaching out to people to have come on the show, so there's a chance that we have a guest next week on the show. I do have somebody lined up for the end of the month already. I'm excited to have him on the show. It'll be his first time as a guest on the show. Actually, no. I think he might have been a guest on the show in Nicaragua. I can't remember, but it'll be a good show. I'm looking forward to having him on. But maybe we'll have some more people on in between now and then, because it is just the first of the month. We love y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. Again, thank you all to Drew Estate Natura Cigar for making sure that Chief Talk is brought to you every single show or every single Thursday of the year, the week, every once a week. We do this show
On Thursday.
thanks to Drew Estate and Natura Cigar.
Have you checked out ChevetteReport.com? It's the newest cigar media outlet to keep you in the know with all things cigar lifestyle related. From press releases to reviews, we have it all covered. Be some of our first members to join ChevetteReport.com and be a part of the next step in the cigar culture. ChevetteReport.com.
Time to relax. Whew. Man, I'm beat. Whew. What are you doing? What are you doing here? Show's over. Go home. Go home. Show's over. What are you waiting for? You waiting for another show? This is a one-ticket entry. Go. Bye. Go. Go. Go.